Silent Fusion, welcome in. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone. We're just about to get started. Now, Fam Bam guys, I gotta ask, how's everyone's weekend so far? What's up, Amir? What's up, everybody that is coming in? So shout out to Silent Fusion, first one for coming in. Amir, shout out to all our supporters out there. Takuma, we have LSG. We do also have Wasabi. What's up, guys? Kirian, what's going on? Oh, GPU, that's a great question, Kirian. GPU pricing. I'm sure everyone's a little bit nervous about that when it comes to GPU pricing. Glad to see you guys. Ernesto, you're probably in here too. I was in the vertical again. Don't know why. I needed a minute. No, it's okay. It's funny because YouTube's trying to do this whole new thing where you can dual stream on their platform. So I still got to kind of do it the old-fashioned way, where I got to post two different streams. So apologize for any confusion for anybody that's coming in. There is two formats to this live. We also have the horizontal format, which is the widescreen format. You could join in. I'll just have a picture of a flame, an emoji of a flame. Or if you want to join in on the vertical side, if that is better for you, you can also join in with the cell phone emoji. So yeah, so it's pretty crazy. That's pretty wild. For anybody who doesn't know, there is going to be the video coming out on Sunday where I did the PC, pretty much like just upgrading the power supply and the GPU. You guys who had joined in the live had seen it, but this time there will be the camera version of it for anyone who does want to catch it for a bit more clarity on doing some sort of upgrade or some sort of thermal repasting that anybody needs to do, especially for having a build for quite some time. So, I mean, the vertical monitors, oh yeah, that's true. Vertical monitors could definitely take advantage of that. So how's everyone dealing with the current RAM situation? I do have to ask. It seems that the whole RAM situation is not really getting any better. The good thing is, the only good thing that is coming out of it is that it's being stagnant right now. That's probably the closest thing that's good. It's just holding that same price. But as we know, the same thing pretty much happened in November where it kind of was set stagnant for like 2 or 3 weeks. And then once it hits into the next month, then you start to see the pricing start to soar. And we definitely will talk about that because there has been some interesting progress on that side. Now, of course, it is only December, but it seems like there is quite a bit of worry from the investor side who are investing into AI. So if you guys don't know, in the US market, it seemed that there was quite a bit of volatility of the stock going down, nearly about like 2.8%, roughly, on a lot of the AI stocks. So it seems that there is a little bit less confidence that AI is going to be around and that it's just going to be a bubble. And if that's the case, then there could be a possibility of RAM dwindling down, but also that's just like clinging on to hope pretty much. So with the biggest GPU on the market on the moment is the ASUS Noct. No wonder why it was so big. When it fit into the case, it barely had any clearance. It's nice of them to stop at 200. Yeah, it is, right? At 200%, that's like the perfect marker for everybody out there. So I can't wait for the bubble to burst because so I can upgrade to AM5. I don't blame you. It's funny too because this whole situation with the RAM issue has gotten so bad to the point to where even there was a actual podcast it's like this gaming podcast that they do have, and WCCF was actually checking it out and had copied a interview that they had. And has anybody attended the Game Awards? I do have to throw that out there real quick. Let me know if you did. If you really did attend in throughout the whole Game Award, I certainly did. It was a long 3.5 hours, and we'll get into that in a little bit. But for those who had been waiting for a Half-Life 3 announcement, especially during the Game Awards, were more than likely highly disappointed because we did not see it. This is probably the second year in a row that we pretty much got fooled into watching it just in order to wait for this Half-Life 3 reveal, which obviously never happened. So what WCCF reported is the fact that because of the Steam machine and the volatility of the RAM pricing, it could is affecting not only the Steam machine pricing that they're hoping to put out there, but it's also going to affect Half-Life 3. So apparently they're saying that Half-Life 3 was going to be planned to be released, show some sort of trailer, but then again, these are I feel it's still kind of rumor based more than anything. Even if WCCF reported it, I still suspect that I'm hoping it's true that Half-Life 3 is going to end up being released, but it seems that RAM has also caused an effect in that side. So let me know what you guys think of that. What's up, Nick's Core? Ellis, not happy, LOL. I had to purchase another kit off my I know what you mean. I have to go ahead and purchase at least another RAM kit. Then from there, I'm just gonna honestly start using the same RAM kits to just do the other builds when that goes on in the near future. They didn't even announce Elder. You know what's funny? I thought that they were about to announce Elder Scrolls 6. I forget exactly which game it was. That just tells you how bad it was. Because when you saw that mountain right there, you thought Elder Scrolls 6 was going to appear, but it was some other game. I missed it. It was not really interesting. You know what? I kind of wish I missed it. I swear, we're going to see some vids pop up on YouTube, how to make silicon in your own garden. Hey, it's a need. It's certainly something that we we just have to have a pretty much like a 3D printer. You just get a 3D printer and you just get a design of a PCB. That's good enough. The only difficult part is getting the DRAM. Then learning how to solder on there and making sure that it works properly. So is there anything wrong with acquiring parts for a new... There's nothing wrong with that, Michael. In fact, that's actually really common. A lot of people do that, especially when you're just getting into PC building. It's quite expensive, as we all know. Typically, we would go after the GPU first because that's the more expensive part. Now, originally I was saying it's probably better to go ahead and get the RAM first. But I would say now, like when I really do think about it too, it might be good to get RAM and GPU just because you don't want to catch GPU on the spike. So if you go ahead and are doing that method of purchasing part by part, I would certainly recommend purchasing, say, the GPU and then the RAM. Those two are certainly the most important. And of course, RAM being volatile, and you don't want GPU to become volatile to the point where it becomes nearly 2 or 3 times the amount that you expected it. More than likely, if things continue the way they go, which we will go into the price chart in just a little bit, but if they continue the way that they certainly are going, then you can certainly expect that the pricing of GPUs can go up as well. So how long should a kit last? A kit will actually last you a decent amount of time. So a non-ECC kit. So again, a kit will last you a really long time. In fact, people who actually have a PC build don't honestly have to worry about RAM, especially if they got up to 32 gigabytes and they mainly use it for gaming anyway. Reason why I say that is because when it comes to RAM, it's actually one of those type of upgrades that you won't do very quickly. In fact, you'll do it probably like maybe about 3 or 4 years. That's how infrequent you will upgrade your RAM unless you bought a much more shorter kit. Like for example, you bought a 16 gigabyte kit when you had your build, so you have to upgrade another 16 eventually. But 32 gigabytes is certainly the minimum, especially, or I would say the minimum for gamers out there. Even gaming in 4K, 32 gigabytes is certainly enough. I would say go for 32 for those who are using their PC more for productivity use. We all know that the more RAM you have, the better it is. But unfortunately, we all know that RAM is quite expensive. At least get up to 64 gigabytes, and that will actually hold you all for quite some time, even into 2030 if it's worst case scenario. But as long as if you have a decent amount of RAM stored into your PC, it's actually going to hold you off quite some time. Even if we go into DDR6, say in 2027, that DDR5 will certainly hold you off. So DRAM heist, anybody? So what's up, Ernesto? Good to see you. So are these crucial RAMs going to Project Ninja? Or the new secret? So this new RAM is more than likely going to go into this new project. I still want to, obviously I want to continue on doing Project Ninja, but it seems that there is actually going to end up being a couple projects ahead of it. So it's certainly Project Ninja is on the list, and I will definitely list all the different projects, and I got to figure out the code names for them too. As soon as we do, I will definitely bring it up in the round table. For anybody that is just joining in, I'm Chris Mizo. I talk about PC and tech. And if you guys haven't joined our wonderful membership, make sure that you do. It's way less than Game Pass. I'm talking way less. So definitely think about joining if you want to get some more insider information about everything that has been going on with the upcoming projects. But so far I can say that there is at least 3 projects in mind, and I will certainly bring them up at the roundtable. So double 32 would be faster in 4K editing. So if you just need up to 64 gigabytes, it doesn't have to be for DDR5 DIMM RAM. You don't need that. 60, if you just have 32 gigabyte RAM modules, that's honestly good enough. You don't it doesn't really matter if you end up splitting it. In fact, it's probably better if you just get dual for now, depending on the type of motherboard that you're getting, assuming that you're getting more of a traditional board, such as a LGA 1851 board from Intel, which is technically a Z890, which I definitely want to talk to you guys a bit more about in a bit. Waffle Skater, good to see you. Glad to see you here. So Frozen, what's up? So so let me get back here. Have you pre-ordered the Resident Evil 9 Deluxe yet? I have not. That's a great question, Amir. I have not, but I am certainly excited. We'll see if we're glad that Leon is back in the game, and I bet it's going to be quite the experience. Michael says, thank you, Chris, because that's what we did. I have only a case and power supply to go. RAM and GPU is already bought. Perfect. So you're way ahead of yourself. Everything else from there is going to be much more easier. I'm assuming the next part you want to get, you're probably holding off on, more than likely, is the CPU. That is going to be quite exciting, especially with the new CPUs that are possibly coming out or being announced during CES 2026, which we will get into in a bit. So Kirian says, still some of the prettiest card designs. So not gonna lie, I kind of regret not getting the 9060 XT for 16 gigabytes for 400. There's like 5060 Ti, 16 gigabytes for like $55 more. That's not bad. So what's the about Samsung? Oh, so what Takuma is talking about with this whole Samsung issue is the fact that when it comes to Samsung, there was an issue that they actually needed to create these smartphones. And this is actually going to, which I will continue into, which is it's going to affect all the smartphones out there who is in need of an upgrade. In fact, if you have a 12 gigabyte phone, be grateful that you do have it, because they're actually going to slow down production on those type of phones because of just how low DRAM that there is out there. So in fact, what happened with the Samsung is that they have this new trifold phone. It's quite a beautiful phone, nice and really thin. It's like practically like a phone that turns into a tablet, similar to their other folds. So anyway, Samsung needed some of the modules from Samsung themselves. So they had to contact the distributor and the foundry in order to get the DRAM. And Samsung actually told themselves, no, we're not going to distribute to you. Instead, this is going to be all focused onto AI. We prefer to continue creating at the foundry HBMs for what AI needs. So this is what we are going to fulfill. Sorry, Samsung mobile division, we're not going to give anything to you. So that's one of the shortages that is currently happening with Samsung, and also not just Samsung, but every other provider you can think of, including Apple, including pretty much any other brand you could think of. So 4 gigabytes is now going to be the current standard that they are going to have for cell phones. So for anybody that has 12 gigabytes, certainly be grateful that you went ahead and made that purchase. So no, CPU is a 7800. Oh, okay, so awesome. You got the 7800. That was actually a decent deal. So no, I was talking about the far worse, but it's a rumor. Oh, really? What's the rumor, Takuma? I gotta know. I am curious about which rumor it is. So what could the Z3D be? Just a fat finger problem. So yeah, Z3D doesn't exist. So we've been working on a quantum computer for a while, but we can't solve a RAM issue. It's because it's all due to foundries. There's not enough of them. We need to have more foundries in order to keep up with the demand that AI is asking for. In fact, they actually had so much DRAM in stock, and plenty of it that they told AI that they did. So AI was like, "Oh, that's great. Well, we need even more than that," and that's what happened. They ended up continuing to take up their production line for the most part. It's gotten so bad to the point to where even Micron wanted to get involved and said, "Hey, we don't really sell RAM, or we don't really sell too much storage as well as we do with the consumer side, at least. So let's put all our focus into somebody like AI who is going to end up buying our products immediately. It doesn't have to sit on store shelves. It doesn't have to sit inside of a Micro Center. It doesn't have to sit inside of a Best Buy. Why not just get a customer immediately?" So you have Micron, you also have Samsung, and you also have SK Hynix, all interested in working with OpenAI in order, and not just OpenAI, but all AI companies as well, in order to fulfill orders. So the rumor is that Samsung is planning to slow down SSD 2.5 production, concentration, the DRAM issue. So not only do we, yes, and SSDs are also going up. That's one of those underrated issues that is currently going on. It's, if you haven't noticed already, there has been a quite a increase when it comes to SSDs. For example, if you take a look at Samsung's 9100 Pro, which is, it recently actually went and sell like back in August and dropped down as low as about $180 you can certainly purchase it for. But now it's back up to $220 for the Samsung 9100 Pro, and it's all due to a NAND. That's also another issue that we're running into. So it's NAND, it's also going to be DRAM, and it's also an issue with VRAM. It will be an issue with VRAM. And unfortunately, what I'm personally afraid of, and we all want this to happen, is the fact that we want to see AMD release a high-end GPU. There was rumors of RDNA 5 going to make an appearance during CES 2026. We all know that AMD is going to be showing off their 9000G processors for sure. They're definitely going to have those for anyone that wants to get an integrated CPU that also has graphics and that allegedly has RDNA 5. But when it comes to the GPU side, maybe that we are hoping, we are really hoping for this, is the fact that if they come out with a high-end, say a 9080 or 9090 XT, to where they would have like up to 24 gigabytes of VRAM, which is something everybody is currently looking for. And also, again, RDNA 5 would also be nice. That would be quite the jump for it if that was the case. And hoping the VRAM would be like G6X or even G7. But again, because of the VRAM issues, that this might not actually happen. They might not even bring up the topic if that's the case. But what I am certain that we will see is that we're going to see a lot of AI talk, definitely for sure. So, hence the phrase truly setting it. So, yes, RDNA 5. So, Xenomorph, no, that's the problem. I know that the 9100, 9090 are going to go up in price, but the 2.5-inch, yes, that is true. That would be a scary case. It seems like it's not just going to affect on a smaller scale. As we all know that when it comes to RAM, we just experience it first because we build PCs, or you have a PC that you constantly upgrade, or maybe you have a pre-built PC, either one, and you need, in order for you to need RAM, obviously you don't have access to it. Now, of course, you have people who have consoles who are just saying, oh, only the people who have PCs are the ones that are going to have a hard time trying to get RAM. But the fact is that it's going to be hard for everyone in order to do so. It's gotten so bad to the point that even Nintendo Switch 2, this is going to be pretty funny, but Nintendo Switch 2, we all felt like it's pretty high. It's already high as it is. So just imagine the fact that when it comes to the Switch 2, they're already talking about pushing it up nearly 42% by 2026. And this is from Nintendo themselves saying this, that they are going to be forced to raise the price of Nintendo Switch 2. So you honestly can compare a Switch 2 for now and 2026 pricing with a ROG Ally, which is pretty insane. So it's like you could either take your pick. You could pick the Switch 2, where it's definitely an inferior piece of hardware compared to something like a ROG Ally. So the 9090 XT is using that new stuff added to RDNA 4, but better. That would be insane. So he said, same here. Random, lucky. I'm so lucky I bought my high-end. What's up, random edits? Lucky I bought high-end on September. I wanted to wait for the Super 50 series. I'm glad and didn't wait to get the 5080. That is awesome. I'm glad anybody out there who has went ahead and made that purchase. Actually, I should have put it up on the chat for you guys. I just noticed something, guys. Oh, there we go. Is it? I'm noticing two different chats almost. Thank you for everything. Is it connected right? So anyway, I'll double check this chat because it seems like one of the chats is not really working properly. I apologize for that, guys. But scary thing is thought they definitely would think that they are more advanced beings. So I am so lucky that I bought my high-end. All right, let me click this. There we go. Hopefully that worked. Oh, I know what it is, guys. I know exactly what it is. Just give me a moment real quick. I knew something was weird. Okay, perfect. Now I'm good. All right, beautiful. So that would be insane. Same here, random. I feel lucky. So I am so lucky I bought my high end. Yes. Tune it down. You reckon any underdog consoles will ever topple the PlayStation, Xbox, Nintendo? Oh, okay. So that's a great question. I'm expecting that with the Steam. So I'm expecting when the whole Steam machine comes out, that's certainly going to be a high competitor. The only problem is how are they going to handle the pricing side? Because originally, if you guys know Linus Tech or Linus Tech Tips, he actually went to speak to the people over at Valve. And as he kind of joked around and said, hey, if this is like $500 or $600, you guys could really compete against like PlayStation 5, against the Xbox Series X, all the major consoles that are pretty much out there, Nintendo Switch 2. And they kind of just gave him this look like, what are you talking about? Why would we charge only $500 or $600 for practically a PC? It's a pre-built PC. It's not going to be $500, $600. So they were giving him that type of look. So that kind of gives you an indication that it's going to be a bit more expensive, but that would be definitely the closest thing in order for them to compete in the console against the console race. And if Steam does it successfully, if they somehow reduce the price to the point to that point, I think for sure that Steam Machine would be one of the more popular consoles that are out there, because we all saw how well the Steam Deck did. I think the Steam Deck is an excellent handheld for anyone to certainly have. So I gotta try purchase my last model train. Wish me luck. How many 9070 XT water blocks exist? That I can't say. I'm not too sure how many water blocks exist for a 9070 XT. I wouldn't imagine it would be too much. So good luck. Good luck on the Madeira Sugar Pine Company Railroad number 5. Apple's M5 chips. So Apple's M5 chips, they're going to be unaffected when it comes to this. The only thing that will affect it is like when it comes to more of their whole RAM side. If you choose to go ahead and make a purchase for a MacBook, just know that they are charging more even if you go ahead and attempt to make a purchase for some like up to say 32 gigabytes of RAM. If you're getting more of the MacBook Air type of MacBook, where if you're trying to get like a MacBook Pro, expect that the pricing is much more higher. For example, if you go from 64 gigabytes, which is an extra, I think it's like an extra 400 or 500, we can definitely check it out. But it's like about like $400 or $500 extra originally. Now it's up to 800, and then if you went up to 128, it went up to another $1,200, which is pretty insane. So I wish I bought more RAM. I could have sold them. Anyone could have. If you have RAM sitting in your drawer, I don't care if it's just DDR5, if it's even DDR4, you could even actually make a decent bit off of it. In fact, if you have at least like 8 kits, like 8 DDR4 kits, that's honestly enough for you to nearly build a PC. Just 8 DDR4 kits if anyone does have them sitting in their drawer. But they have, obviously they had to be untouched. Of course, you're going to have people that are going to try to sell it for a much more higher price if that's the case. So, let's see. There we go. Beautiful. So, I replaced my CPU paste. Awesome. I'm glad you did. Gamers Meld said that the phone and MacBook will increase in price. Yes, it's true. He's absolutely right. That they are going to go up in pricing. But you know what's funny? I actually met him last year when we were at the NVIDIA conference. Really cool guy, by the way. I replaced my CPU paste too. They probably have to go on the limb and lose profit by lowering the price, just like what the Xbox 360 did to gain the majority of the market back then. Yeah, more than likely that could be the case. There's going to be a lot of companies that's going to end up losing profit. It's going to have this larger effect than most people realize when it comes to RAM. And again, they're already saying smartphones. They're saying in some game consoles. Now, next, you're going to notice it once we hit into the car market, especially when it comes to newer car production. But luckily, it's not gotten to it's not that new year yet to where we have to create like kind of like new models or anything. And when it comes to like certain lines, you're definitely going to experience it a bit more, especially for those cars that are more like smart cars. So how strong could a 400 millimeter? It would be quite incredible. So you never sold them, really. You have a spare set of 8400 CU DIMM G-Skill. That's awesome. You know, Amir, I kind of regret. I should have ended up buying it back then. That type, because remember we were discussing about doing some tests on it. I should have got some then. So, but my CPU air cooler is BS. I had the big. Oh, is it really? So, Gamers Meld bringing all the new CPU teasing. Oh, I bet he is. I bought CL30, 32 gigabytes of RAM for £100, and now they're about 480. It's funny, if anybody goes back to see how much the RAM was originally, you're going to see that price increase. It's quite insane of how much of a price increase it is. So let's go ahead and we'll go ahead together on the Apple site, for example. And for anyone who hasn't seen that deal, just put everyone out there who is interested in doing a PC build. If you check out my YouTube post, there's actually a pretty decent deal that's going on from Newegg. I wanted everybody to know this because, again, it's 32 gigabytes of RAM that you do get with it, and you can get an MSI motherboard, and it also comes with a processor as well. And it's all for $470. So that practically pays for even the RAM itself, which is pretty insane. It's pretty crazy to say that's a deal, but at least there's something. That was the only deal I really found that anybody can actually afford for when it comes to something like this. So let's go ahead and take a look here. So I'm going to show you the example right there. There we go. Beautiful. So now the Apple, yes, now they're even worse. They're even more insane now. when it comes to Apple, it's really insane when it comes to their pricing now. So I got a 64 gigabyte CL22 kit for £400. Now it's one. Oh, I would imagine it's even more than that. It's got to be more than that. I haven't seen a CL22 kit. I've seen CL26 kits. Let's see. I got 64. It probably sells for, yeah, it's got to sell for more than that. So we're going to check out Apple's website right here, as mentioned. So if we want to say get the MacBook Air and you chose to upgrade their RAM here, let's go ahead and go to buy. And we're going to get, let's say, now you're going to see the price difference here. This one's not as extreme because it's 16 gigabytes going to 24. So it's only an 8 gigabyte increase. So you're going to go from 1200 to 1400 for an extra 8 gigabytes. All right. So we're going to go to the Pro side where they have much more variation when it comes to the RAM. So the world would collapse when US gamers got the lowest GPU prices in the year. So my Lian Li Hydro Shift 2 AIO with the 3.4 inch LED came in, going to look awesome in a big case, big display, and no dangly hoses. That's the biggest thing. People don't like seeing those dangly hoses. All right. Here's all the M5 stuff. I get it. Let's go to buy. So, all right. So here we go. We're going to go down here. Okay. So it's just further down the page. So take a look at how extreme the pricing is getting. Now, I see this because it's a larger processor. We're going to go ahead and just say select the 14-core CPU and 20-core GPU. And this is on the M4 Pro. And this is just 24 gigabytes. Now, if you choose to upgrade the memory, this is where you'll see it. It's unavailable. In fact, now it's unavailable. That's pretty crazy, guys. That's unavailable to the point. Because before, you can even click it. So you can get 24 gigabytes of unified memory. You can purchase it, but you can only get up to 48. But anything more than that is unavailable. They won't let you purchase it anymore. Not even 64. So that just shows you the shortage is real. As you can see, there's only two lines for it, which isn't good. All right, so let's try this. Maybe it's just because I picked the 14-core, 20-core GPU. Let's go ahead and pick the larger one just to make sure. Maybe it just doesn't have the power. And no, yeah, they won't allow you. So you could either get 36 gigabytes and that's pretty much it. You can't add any additional RAM. So for anyone that does have a MacBook Pro, your RAM's pretty valuable. Your laptop's pretty valuable at this point. King Helios, what's up? So all right, got it. It's the world collapse when us gamers got the lowest GPU prices in years. Absolutely. Let me see. Kind of got lost here in the sauce. I sold my, let's see. If the rumors on the new Intel desktop CPUs are true, we're going to cook. They'll do anything to fix their rep. RTX 6090, i9. Yeah, that's going to be the future. The funny thing is when it comes to the RTX 6000 series, they're not really thinking of going with the DDR7 like how they originally have. There's a possibility that they may go HBMs. Right now, they're actually on HBM. They're working on HBM 4. Right now, they're on HBM 3 currently. I think it's HBM 3E or D that they're currently on. But that is what AI is currently using. But they're so focused on improving the HBMs that they're working already on the next generation for AI use. So how many Netflix subscriptions would it take to match the cost of 164? Oh, quite a bit. 100 or more, absolutely. What did you end up getting, Takuma? Just finished my. Oh, that's awesome. I love Persona. How do you like your build so far? What are your specifications? People will wear RAM as jewelries, and yeah, you know it's funny. I was actually discussing this with one of my friends here. The fact that we can easily just you can go to a jeweler and actually just get all you need really is a gold chain, and and then you just need to get like the pennant or like the hook for the DDR5. And if you got 100 and if you got a 32 gigabyte module or you got a 64 gigabyte RAM module around your neck, they're gonna be like, yeah, he has money. So good idea. I don't have any broken RAM. Usually RAM doesn't really break as easy. Of course, they get of course you can get RAM sticks. God forbid anybody runs into an issue to where their RAM runs into errors. So I want a 14700K and a 5060 Ti, and the rest of my current PC I can keep at 64 gigabytes. So it's a 9070 XT and a 7700. Problem is, if flagship Intel will have 52 cores, it will have 16 performance and 32 6E cores. Yeah, I could see that actually happening. I really could see that happening if they decide to do that. Let me see. Sorry, oh, there we go. Beautiful. Oh, you got your local. It came in today. That's awesome. Getting mugged for your. Yeah, can you imagine that? You're going to start seeing that on the news where you see people get mugged for RAM because they're gonna be like it's kind of like the meme that I ended up posting up, guys. Oh, so the deal I was talking about, let's go on YouTube real quick, guys. I posted it. In fact, you know what? I'll just go here because I can just go to the profile a lot quicker. So if you go down here, it's this kit that if anybody hasn't seen this kit, you can actually pick this up for a decent deal. It's a MSI Mag X870E. But unfortunately, it's going to be a bit of a mix because, of course, you get a black motherboard and you have some white RAM, but I don't think anybody cares at this point. But it even comes with a cooler. That's what it is. It comes with the cooler. Corsair Vengeance RGB DDR5, and it's a really good deal considering everything that has been going on out there. I should start overclocking. I only got 8 cores. So Frozen says I got 2 32 gigabyte modules before orders went up. Crazy that it was only. Yeah, I mean, we could go into my Newegg account and I can show you exactly how cheap it was. In fact, like we could go to my Micro Center account and you can see how cheap RAM is. And you know what's funny, everybody? Like if you buy PC hardware, honestly, it's best just to hoard it. It seems like it's best not to return it, just hoard the PC hardware because it almost seems like it's getting to the point where for some reason it will end up being volatile. So better hide my. Yeah, breaking news. House is robbed. Nothing is taken except. Yeah, just nobody can tell each other what type of PC build. No, everybody's gonna be afraid of telling each other how much RAM that they have because they'll say, "Yeah, I got a PC." Well, how much RAM do you have? How much gigabytes do you have? Then it's gonna be that moment of silence. You're not gonna want to say because you don't know if you can really trust this guy. Yeah, so yeah, exactly. It's a great deal. I got the cooler. I think you have a choice. So how does one find a RAM cooler? Easy. You just look for heat spreaders. In fact, Corsair even does like the 3D printed ones, which is pretty dope. Breaking news: local gang robbed $4 million of 512 gigabytes of DDR4 RAM, biggest heist in history. So I'm going to end up putting a poll out there for everybody real quick, and the poll is going to be this is going to be a good one here. Let me see. The poll is going to be for everyone who did join in to watch the Game Awards. And the poll is going to ask, let's see, let me find my poll here. There we go. So we're going to say, hell, would you grade the Game Awards this year? So I'm going to give it I'll give it an A, B, and C rating. A, B, C, D, F. There we go. So we got this new poll, and we will put it up. Bring it up here, and here we go. So feel free to put your vote in. Let me know how you feel about the Game Awards this year. Was it, what I gotta say was really interesting about the Game Awards was towards the end. And I thought it was going to be Half-Life 3. I held on for 3.5 hours for dear life, just hoping that it was Half-Life 3. But instead, they showed us this almost like a Concord 2 type of game. Like, it was a free-to-play game that ended up being at the end of close to the game of the year announcement, which was ridiculous. I thought they were going to announce it. They could have held like even Resident Evil towards the end. That would have been a better showing. So I found 2 terabytes of DDR4 at my school. Everyone's gonna start looking at the school at the school computers now because they're going to have some sort of RAM. The only thing that sucks is for anyone that has a school where you're based on terminals, then you don't really have much RAM at all. So anybody can make a vote here. In order to make the vote, you just put the if you're wondering, you can't click the poll. You just put 1, 2, I think it's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 to put the vote. So you put that into the chat, and that will move the graphical poll. So you can make your vote. Feel free to vote. What do you guys feel about the Game Awards this year? So, yeah, the students stealing these 4 gigabyte RAM sticks from school. Yeah. You know what's crazy? I can't imagine the school's budget if they wanted to upgrade their PCs now. It's going to be a bit rough, especially for how expensive RAM is today. And you know what's crazy too? This is what I wanted to show you guys too, is the fact the volatility side of when it comes to AI bubble, right? This is what people are feeling. So this is the article I'm going to share with you guys real quick too. And I'll shift it over real quick. And anybody can vote. Just to let you guys know, just put the number and tell us what you think of the show. So here it is. This is what happened yesterday. So this is a sort of a good sign for anybody out there. Let me put the poll out here so people can vote out here too. But it's practically, let me put it right there. So the stock and crypto markets tumbled because of AI bubble fears. And this actually caused the stock to drop quite a bit. And right here, you can see that the S&P actually ended up, let me move that up. I know you mobile guys are going to have trouble seeing it. But yeah, you guys can also continue to vote as well. The poll will still continue to move. But the S&P 500 and the NASDAQ ended up lowering on Friday, wiping out previously weekly gains. So this is a good indicator because that means that they're afraid that AI is a bubble. And it's, if anybody follows the stock market, the funny thing is, Jim Cramer. He's one of these guys where he gives advice when it comes to the stock market, and usually everything happens the opposite way of what he announces. So when he said everyone should buy NVIDIA and hold it, when he gave that signal, that the very next week, this actually happens. This whole issue of AI stocks dropping, which is pretty funny. But anyway, oh, merch. No, I don't have a command for merch, but I have a command for everything. That's a good one. I should put a command for merch. Let's see. Windows 11 when stripped down, then basically Tiny 11 is supposed to be more stable with a little. It should be able to. I don't see it being unstable, but 512 megabytes of RAM, that's pretty insane. That kind of reminds me back then, like when I first built PCs, 512 megabytes was actually decent. So, do you think $650 is a good price? Honestly, it's not bad, Hassan. That's actually not too bad. So, and here it is. You can see how much of a drop off it is. So this is sort of a good sign. And then when we take a look at, now we're going to take a look at how the RAM pricing is. Right here. And as you can see, DDR4 has went up drastically because this is due to the availability of DDR5 RAM. Now, you can certainly still get DDR5 RAM, but of course, we all know it's expensive, but we do see a little bit of a small dip here. Yes, exactly. Whatever Jim Cramer does, I do the opposite. That is absolutely right. So, 3600, it seems like it's holding like pretty steady for the most part, stagnant. And if you notice, like on a lot of these charts here, they hold stagnant for like about a month. And then by the, see what will be the telltale sign is once we go into something like into January. Because once we go to January, this one's an interesting one, 5200 has been holding pretty steady since December. But what I am scared of is by the time January hits, this could actually end up going double than what it originally was. And that seems like that's like the current pattern that's been going on when it comes to DRAM. So the price of the Steam machine, honestly, I think it's going to end up being, I honestly think the Steam machine is probably going to be closer to about like the $700 to $800 range, because technically it's still a PC. That Steam machine, you still can install Windows if you want it onto it. I don't know why anyone would. I would say if it's built for SteamOS, definitely try it out. So I definitely will have another poll. So it looks like I will close the poll in about 2 minutes. So far, it seems like we got mostly B and C ratings of the Game Awards. Live price increasing if you refresh on kids. Yes. We should have a, you know what? We should create a widget for the live. And we'll create this widget where it will constantly refresh when it comes to RAM. In fact, we can take a look at Micro Center. Remember, whoever came into the live on Wednesday, man, that was really tempting, to be honest. I gotta say. Will it be locked to prevent overclocking? No, it shouldn't be. Yeah, it shouldn't be locked. Like when it comes to RAM kits, I wouldn't worry about that. So let's take a look at DDR5. And we're going to take a look here and see how it's looking. So this is what the current pricing looks like for anyone that is looking to get some RAM here. And so we have, let me bring that up some so you guys can see it better. And I think we're pretty good on the poll so far. It seems like everyone has went with its C. So we got a C rating for when it comes to the Game Awards. Yes, $874, again, for 64 gigabytes of RAM, and it is also CL30. You know what you can get with $174.99? You can get some pretty decent GPUs for that price. Here we go, G-Skill Flare X5, 32 gigabytes. You get $389. So that actually went up a little bit. That's going up because I've been kind of tracking the prices. Originally, this was $325 or $330, but yeah, they went up in price again. Wonderful. What's up, Robert? Welcome in. Yeah, unfortunately, that has went up. One single RAM stick is $194.99. How is that an upgrade? If anyone, that is crazy. $195 for some RAM. They do have the white crucials here, CL30. Again, that's quite expensive. Now I have a RAM kit, everybody. I gotta hold on for dear life. And for anyone who wants to join the members roundtable, make sure you do. It's also you gotta check it out. It's definitely a lot cheaper than get Xbox Game Pass. I promise you, it's way cheaper than any RAM module that you'll see. So okay, so remember that price here, $874.99, right? So we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna look up a RTX 5070 Ti. I bet you can get one for that price. In fact, you know what's funny? You guys remember Ricky? He was thinking of trading in his RTX 5070 Ti to Micro Center. And he has the MSI Shadow RTX 5070 Ti. And there's nothing wrong with it. He loves it, but he just wanted to upgrade again. Maybe even get the RTX 5080. So it's practically quoted at to trade that in at $450. $450 to $500. So that's even cheaper than getting RAM, which is insane. There you go. And you already have some RTX 5070 Ti's that are cheaper than RAM. You can get the ASUS NVIDIA GeForce RTX 5070 Ti for $750. So, hi, my laptop has been heating like crazy. It goes up to 100 degrees, and my friends would tell me to clean the vents and change the thermal paste, but the thing is I can't do it. And I decided to reduce the power intensity. Yeah, that would be the better way to do it. More than likely, it has dust built up into it. So the Ultra 9 285K, 64 gigabytes of RAM with a 5080 quick review. That's actually pretty decent. That's actually a decent build right there. Especially if you are into, you can actually use that as a dual purpose PC. More or so for like doing some gaming and some production use. But yeah, that's awesome. I'm assuming that's what you use it for. That's actually a great PC. What type of SSD and everything do you have? How much what's your power supply? Oh yeah, that's a true point. I honestly, it's not that bad if you clean out a PC. If you clean out a laptop, because most of the time it's just like torque screws on the bottom of the laptop that you just have to remove, and then you just have to dust it out. Because most of the time that's what it is. It's just going to be dust that's overheating it. Did you see my computer? No, I didn't. Put it into Discord. Did you put it in Discord? Maybe I did. Let me check. So anybody can feel free to join the Discord. So in order to join Discord, we do have a command for it. You just hit the exclamation point and you hit Discord, for example. I'll throw it in real quick for you guys just to see it. Feel free to join. It's a free Discord to join. You can use it to show off your PC. And you can also use it. It's so weird how it does that. I know exactly why it does that. But anyway, feel free to show your PC. You can show it in the battle station section. You can show off benchmarks, and you can also show off, or if you need help with your PC, you can also feel free. All of us guys will certainly be on there to help you out when it comes down to it. So, yeah, I know. You know what it is? It's because when I noticed it's when I do a horizontal and vertical stream on YouTube, and when I also do a stream on Twitch, then it just ends up flooding it like crazy, like this. And so it's like $8 in my country to do it, but I am kind of busy, like really preparing for G, so I am not leaving home. But my laptop works. Yeah, your laptop will work fine. It's not going to give you any issues. So the RTX 5070, I paid less price for mines before last Black Friday. So that's actually a really good. And if anybody needs a GPU, this is actually a great time to go ahead and do so. Here goes Ricardo's GPU right here. He has the Shadow, the 3 times overclocked right here. And again, maybe you can even get, here goes another one, a gigabyte one. The WindForce, this is for the short form factor build, $730. They have Zotac, again, 750. Again, these are, it's crazy to say that this is cheaper. This is, you could get a gaming trio, which is an excellent GPU. You could easily get this even over DDR5, which is insane. Imagine buying, see, I know, that's what I'm saying. ECC RAM, that's more depends on what your use for the RAM is, Kyrian. What's up, Creed? Yeah, just want to say hello and thanks for the support in the Discord server. Starting with the 9800 extra. Oh yeah, yeah, it's a, yeah, I bet it was. Nobody enjoys micro stutters. Yeah, I kind of, yeah, when you said that, I kind of figured it was you, Aaron. 50-50. So I'm gonna keep the 4090 till my son graduates high school, then maybe upgrade. That would be awesome. Yeah, can you believe that turbo mode? Turbo mode can really throw anybody off. So what happened with Creed, as you know, as Aaron in Discord, he had issues with his PC, and the issue that he was running into was micro stutters, even on simpler games, even such as on games like not Warframe, it was a Warzone, and he was running into micro stutters on quite a few other titles. And it turns out that it was all because of the turbo mode. If you have turbo mode on, especially if you have an MSI GPU, you want to make sure that it is off, and that will actually help. The turbo mode, I knew there was something one in this direction. Oh, do you really? Yeah. So if anybody does run into that issue and you have those weird micro stutters, that's probably more than likely the case of it. So and it'll actually help resolve some of those who play on Battlefield 6 even. Yeah, it will, yeah, cut your threads in half. So yeah, by the way, we have these fancy double and triple chamber cases, yet none of them have a turbo button on the case. We all You know what's funny? Even power supplies. If you ever notice some power supplies, they have like a turbo button on it. Clock speed trying to run high because of that. Yeah, it's not good to have it on. Not like, even though it sounds like, oh, it's turbo, you think it's gonna be good, but it turns out it's really no good. I gotta ask that, has anybody had any luck getting the 6400 megahertz CL32 kits by Crucial? Because it seems that I was able to get some, but now it seems like they on Micro Center they only have the CL36 kits, CL38, but they don't have the new ones. I originally got them at B&H Photo, but I don't think. But right now they're gonna be really hard to get, I think, at this point. Laugh out loud. I laugh at everyone. Did you have your PC built already? They're trumping. There are some retro cases. You know, yeah, that is true. I was actually thinking of getting a retro case to do a PC build. I think that would be pretty dope. Wouldn't it? To do like a retro PC type of look build. That would be pretty. I think that would be nice to do. Have a sleeper PC. Have everyone think it's like a PC from like 95. So Crucial has their 64 gigabyte kit. Here we go. This one's not too bad of a deal, I think. I have to check the latency first, if it's the one I'm thinking of. Now this kit, it should be, where is it at? Right here. No, this is a terrible deal. That's a CL40, so nobody wants that kit. There's my 7800 X3D won't post with any higher speed than 6200. So how far do you have it on Curve Optimizer? I gotta ask. So yeah, it looks dark because you know what it is? I got it on dark mode. So 32 gigabytes. Let's see. Let me see if this gets any good. I should take it because I have it on dark mode. It's going to look darker than usual until I click it. So this has 6400 megahertz. These were all the new kits that Crucial was coming out with because they saw that there's a need for RAM and they kind of changed their mind last minute. No, this one's no good either. Let's see. Let me try typing it in. CL32. This would be the better kit to get. I'd say RGB RAM kits are more expensive more than the normal. Oh, yeah, now it is. Originally, it was like they didn't know what to do. Oh, they don't have any relevant results. Okay, that's crazy. Well, you know what? I'll try to find it. I'll go back into my emails here and try to find it. So let me close out this poll here. There we go. Yeah, I'm going to check my emails real quick because I ended up getting a kit. Hopefully, everyone out there who needs a kit, definitely try to get some. It's right because technically right now, even though the pricing's pretty terrible as it is when it comes to RAM, you want to make sure to secure a kit because more than likely once we hit January, it's going to end up going up in price again, and you don't want to end up getting caught on that wave. I know a lot of people are kind of like, this'll pass, but not really. We just went onto Apple's website to try to expand the RAM. Like if you wanted to get a MacBook Pro and you wanted to get it with say even 64 gigabytes, 128, they don't have it. It's not available. You're only stuck getting the basic module, the basic SoC. So Noble says, bought before the balloon, not feeling the pinch. But how are us PC builders going to make? Yes, that's definitely a concern. Robert sent the PC build. Awesome. Let's check it out. Let's go ahead on Discord here, and we'll check out Robert's build. Let's see. You put it under. Let me see. Oh, what the hell? I just noticed. Why am I in chat here? All right, let me get out of here. And I'm trying to find your. Did you send it to? Oh, right here. I see it. Oh, that's right. No, I remember your PC build now. In fact, you. Oh, Wasabi, what's up? Good to see you. Bahasami, what about the GPU in the future? That's going to be really expensive. Yeah, this is the PC right here. This is actually pretty dope. So I'm going to switch over to the Discord, guys. It is... Oh, I fault, guys. Let me go right here. And it's because I don't have it right here. And because since it's a DM, there it is. This is it right here. Let me move this down on. It's funny because I'm trying to move it on the vertical side for you guys so you guys can see it. There we go. I just got to lock up everything. There we go. Now I can move it. There it is. So that's it right there. That's his PC. I see. Oh, I see his nice. So you did like practically almost like a black and white build, is it? It's interesting because it has white grommets. I wonder why it has white grommets on the PC. Because I'm assuming, and this is the Strix E-Gaming, right? So Roberto went with all the integrated graphics. Yes, he did. He has a decent PSU though. Unless he has the unless he has it out of the case there. I installed the G. Oh, you should post that. Let's see. Uh yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, it looks like he's bringing in air into the case. Almost like it's a little bit backwards there. Bringing air. No, it's right. But definitely want more intake than exhaust. You're definitely getting more negative pressure looking at it. Because the front is right, the back is wrong with the CPU cooler. You can't see it. You said the back is wrong? Really? Let me double check that. Oh, okay. Yeah, that is weird. Unless it's because the fan's spinning. You know what I mean? But I see what you mean with Takuma. Because it looks like it should be the opposite way. Unless it's a reverse fan. It could be a reverse fan too. It has to be. Because I would imagine they would make it kind of oh no, you went no, wait. The fan is on wrong. Yeah, that's what I mean. Unless it's reverse blade. I hope it is. Is it, Robert? Is it a reverse blade fan? Let me go back on. Oh, let me go back here. I'm trying to see the other side of it. Can you take? So Robert, I gotta ask you, is it just a quick question? Did you install the fans itself, or is it, or was it pretty much like set like that on the CPU? Sorry, I meant what type of price of GPU in the future after RAM and SSD increase for the insane price? More than likely, you're going to see it go up like another 50% at the minimum. Like once we hit into January, that's when you're going to see that uptick when it comes to pricing again. And it seems like it'll seem like it's holding steady for a month. And this has been the patterns for November and October, pretty much the same way. It'll hold steady, and then when you think it's going to drop in the next month, it ends up increasing. And more than likely, it's going to increase because you can see the demand needed, especially when it comes to laptops, when it comes to cell phones, when it comes to handheld devices, when it comes to pretty much anything at this point. Even CyberPower PC said that they had to increase the prices. It has to be. The CPU is the Powertrain X Gamer MK8. Oh, interesting. Oh, really? So it makes me kind of want to look at it up right here. Oh, oh, crap. I didn't mean to do that. Now I gotta fix it. So, guys, let me fix something real quick, guys. I'll be right back. Be right back, guys. Just give me a second. Okay, perfect. There we go. Apologize for that intermission real quick. Just had to fix something. Let me, okay, so you sent another picture, Robert, was it? Let me see. You said, I sent another photo of my build with the graphics card installed. Can you check the links now? Oh, yeah, sure. I'll definitely check it out. Let me see. I felt terrible buying some CL64 gigabyte CL28 for 630 the day after it went 980. Still feel horrible. I bet. Yeah, it's pretty disgusting, right? It's like you wake up in a cold sweat when you make a purchase like that, especially for knowing how inexpensive RAM should be. So I'll check out that photo. I'll check out Genomorph. So let me check out. We'll check right here. So you sent a link. Oh, that's actually a good one. LSG actually sent something decent. That's not. It's a shame because. Oh, that's CL30. That's a good one. Let me share this with everybody real quick. Everybody on. Make sure to follow the Discord, everyone, if you haven't been following Discord. But this is it right here. $379 actually for some G-Skill CL30. That's actually an awesome deal, weirdly enough to say. It's actually decent speed, 6,000 mega transfers. So it's not no CL36, what you've been typically seeing for a lot of RAM. So let's check out Genomorph's link here. Let's see. Genomorph. Send me the link again, Xenomorph. Trying to find you. So, and also, let me check out Robert's look right here. So you sent this picture. Oh, okay, there we go. And this is his with the with a ASUS Tough RTX. I'm assuming 5070. Is it 5070 in the member side? Okay. Let me check on the member side real quick, guys. There we go. Now I can get in. Oh, so for anyone that is into Project Wood, we were talking about this idea. Kanto the oh well, the first. Oh, what's up, Egyptian? Good to see you. Right there, Kanto. MATX. Awesome. Let me shift it real quick for you guys so you can see it. There it is. The Kanto version 1.3 MATX. Take a look, guys. Isn't that just gorgeous? Oh man, look at the flexibility. You just pop that open. The fresh smell of let's find out what type of wood this is. I mean, you want it in micro ATM. Complete control over design and manufacturing that has us enable create a case that punches size and air cooling. So its innovative component layout provides best-in-class cooling, and it prevents GPU sag. Vertical GPU placement in a sturdy wooden case. So, did you see my RAM joke? Yeah, I did. That was fun. Yeah, that was funny. I did see that. That was good, Egyptian. Making accessing M.2's SSDs nice and easy. Kanto allows you to make the most out of your motherboard and your I/O ports. That is awesome. The hinge top section houses all your peripherals. And the best part, all wooden panels are made from sustainably grown finished birch. So we were looking for that birch finish, guys. Man, is this Project Wood actually going to happen, guys? It seems like, it seems that there's a lot of requests for it. Is Wasabi still in here? He's probably chilling. He's probably lurking. Oh, wow. Look at these specifications. So this was for a mini build. Let's go back onto Discord, guys. And he sent us one more other link here, which is the Silverstone Intros, the retro-inspired tower chassis. This is definitely something that is, I can take a bit more, a little bit more seriousness. They should make that case with a line with cedar. That heat from the inside would give it yes, it would. How do you guys like that? If it was cedar wood, guys, it would come out with this beautiful aroma. That's pretty dope. I do like the look of it. How it's vented, so it gives you that look. But I wonder, the thing is, like, when it comes to a display like this, I wonder how if it actually looks like a retro case, because sometimes they look too much like a. I would want to put a real floppy drive in there. I wouldn't plug it in. I'd just put it in there to make it look like it's a retro PC. You probably could, because it does have like the. It does have that casing. It's pretty insane. I do like it. That's actually not bad. Not bad at all. It's funny too, because you see the USB-C up on the top, so you're like, huh, that's interesting. Oh, did he? Linus built this. That's pretty dope. Also, since when... I just had to throw it in there real quick because I accidentally, when I was trying to get the bot out, I had to throw him into the... I accidentally hid you, so I had to put you as a mod to get you back. So that's what I was doing. So I apologize about that. You guys like bugs? Do you have bugs? And it even has filters. Yeah, I mean, feel free to moderate if you want. I don't want to throw a task of moderating on anyone. But yeah, but all you supporters out there, you definitely could moderate if you want to. Robbers be like, wait a minute, USB-C on RAM is. Yeah, well, they would have to really pay attention, because most people, like, honestly, if you had this PC, right, you just had this sitting in your desktop. The only thing I would give it away is if you have a gaming keyboard, you have a gaming mouse, gotta have it you gotta kind of fool it. Unless you gotta fool everybody. You have to have a retro keyboard, a retro mouse. Because this is like almost like the preventative measure. If someone does break into your house, they're like, no way that PC has DDR5. Because as we were talking earlier, people are going to want to break in and start stealing some RAM. So if they see this PC, they're going to be like, that ain't worth anything. That's not going to be worth taking, because that's definitely not going to have the RAM that I'm looking for. This is probably size DDR, just standard DDR, or DDR2 even. But they would never guess it's DDR5. So definitely a good point. So let me throw this poll out there. You know what? I have a great poll to pull for you guys. So for anybody that's coming in, just to let you know, I'm Chris Mizo. I talk about PC and tech. We do have a couple projects that are coming up. I got to think of a couple code names for it. But I do have to ask. Maybe we call this Project Retro. Yeah, if we go this direction. So let me throw a poll out there for you guys. Runs at do yeah, 9,000 FPS. So let's put out there, would you guys be interested in a Project Retro? So I definitely would have to look into it a bit more out of curiosity because, all right. And here is the new poll coming up here. So would you guys want to go for Project Retro? Because it does look pretty interesting if that's the case. Better runs. You know what you have to do too? I'm kicking myself for not buying DDR. I don't blame you. It really sucks when you don't have DRAM. So far we got yes. Well, that would be nice. We got yes. That's definitely a project we could put up there on the list. Yeah, so far we got a lot of yeses. Definitely a win, right? If we go for it. Okay, so I'll keep this poll up there. So it would look something like this. And we can do a PC build this way. But I do love the idea. Silverstone's an excellent company too. Like when it comes to PC building. Rhetorical question? No. This is serious. A real retro? We could do either or. That we can definitely discuss. I'll bring that up in the members table. Because if it's a actual retro PC, I actually know where I can get a case. But definitely would have to do some modifications for it to make it work. Otherwise, it's just gonna overheat to the point where, because as you know, the older cases, it doesn't have this type of airflow. Because you'll know the only thing that gives away retro PCs like these type of cases is that these vents up here in the front. Because older PCs, they're not really vented. Like if you look at them, it's just like all steel practically. But yeah, that we can definitely figure out. That we can try to find a case. And again, it would be a lot of modifying, really. What are the top 2 best? I'd say if you're going with the top PSUs, the top ones you can certainly get. I would highly recommend it. Seasonic. Seasonic is definitely number 1 to go for. Definitely my top favorite when it comes to power supplies. And I would say for a second's pretty hard because I feel like Seasonic's kind of like up here and everything kind of falls on there. Seasonic. So like if you were to make a pick, Corsair does make some great PSUs for great deals. MSI has decent PSUs, but you've been hearing them in the news recently, and a lot of that has to do with more or so not correct connections there. So I love the Be Quiet Dark Power 13. It's a decent power supply. What I was kind of disappointed when it comes to that power supply is that they just give you the power supply, but they don't give you any pouch. They don't give you nothing. It's kind of weird, I gotta say. They just give it to you in a plastic bag. But other than that, it is excellent. It is a very quiet power supply. I have no complaints. Like I have the dark. I do have the dark power. 13 also on this PC that I'm actually streaming and producing off of. It's a great power supply. And it's with the ASUS Noctua RTX 5080. It's dead silent with them. That combination together, big difference compared to the Corsair or M1000X. I gotta say. It is a native 12-volt high power port. What should I do? I want to build a PC, but I don't have much money and I can't wait for you. So what I suggest for anyone that does want to build a PC, that doesn't have a lot of money to start off with. Again, we've all been there. We've all been in that place where we all wanted a PC. And if you wanted this PC, you have to be able to buy each PC hardware parts. So just learn about the different PC hardware that you will need to put together this PC. In order to do so, I would start off with getting the RAM and the GPU. GPU is because You don't want the pricing of GPUs to go up drastically. If that happens, then it's going to get unaffordable. That's why that's also on the top list. I really thought about it. Originally, I was saying, well, no, just get the RAM and then worry about everything else. GPU, I would say, is still most important because you don't want to pay a high price on it, or a high volatility price that you don't want to pay for a GPU. And then number two would have to be the RAM. You want to try to get secure RAM as quick as you can. And then you can acquire all the other parts later. Now, you might ask, like, well, it might take me 8 or 9 months to put together all these PC hardware parts. But the fact is, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if it takes you 9 or even 10 months to do it. You'll be able to build your PC. It's not, your parts aren't going to expire. They're not going to go bad or anything like that. And you still can have yourself a PC to build. That's how most people do end up starting to build a PC, is acquiring each piece of PC hardware. So, I mean, my Seasonic never even turned on its fan. That's what I'm saying. Seasonic's amazing. Fantex AMP GH1200, a good recommendation from Fantex. You know, I still gotta, that reminds me, I should get in contact with them too. See what we can pull out of them. Can you suggest a good bang for your buck GPU for a micro ATX? Yeah, easily. Actually, the Gigabyte WindForce SFF. We'll go to Micro Center right now and I'll show it to you guys. That's actually, you can get that for a really good deal. Now, of course, if you don't have a Micro Center near you, you can certainly get it from other sources such as Newegg, or you can even get it from Amazon. But this is it right here. We're going to take a look. I'll show you. It's the Gigabyte WindForce SFF. Now, it depends on your budget, what you're looking for. Now, if you are looking for a bit smaller, here we go. Say oh, that actually went up in price a little bit. That's the overclocked edition. That's why. That's the regular 5070. Here we go. 5070 Ti WindForce SFF. Now, how much room do you have to? More than likely, this will fit well. Because, again, this is meant for short form factors. Now, here's the sizing for it, if anyone is curious about it. It's about 304 millimeters. How's that sound? The width's about 50 millimeters. So it's between about 12 inches and close to like 2 inches in width. So it's actually really, yeah, it's like probably like that wide. And then when it comes to the length, it's probably like like that. It's not that long. 12 inches, probably like that. So hopefully that's right for your build. You can certainly, I would highly recommend anyone before getting a GPU to definitely measure it out, or look up your case. In fact, how about you provide your case to us and we can look up your case and see how well it would fit in there. So Genomorph says, I feel so bad for guys who didn't do their build yet. So let me hide the poll, guys, real quick. So it seems that we have that resolved. And they didn't build because of financial issues. And now that we have price raises, again, yeah, again, it's going to happen again. Unfortunately, in January, for anyone that is looking to build a PC. And as you know, and as everybody knows, it's a type of thing where it's just not going to go away very easily when it comes to pricing. And unfortunately, with the whole pricing aspect, it just seems like it's just getting to be a bit more expensive. Let me see here. Just double checking something, guys. Oh, that's what happened. Let me enable. Sorry about that, guys. There we go. Perfect. So, but yeah, as I mentioned, isn't just Micro Center PSU prices? Not necessarily. It all depends. Compono is completely correct. If you already own DDR5, take care of it, keep it cool, and do not push it too hard. That's what I've been saying for everybody out there who has a PSU. I mean, not PSU, who has DDR5. It's not really necessary to overclock. You don't have to. You're not going to experience a ton of different frames if you're planning to tweak your RAM settings, unless you're like crazy in the overclocking, and you also are then the type to do a custom Woodar loop and do things like that. But if you're not, then don't do it. It's no point. You just want to be able to play your games. You want to be able to get the max frames. That's definitely not the way to do it. I would say definitely the best way to honestly get the best frames is really have the best type of tweaks really when it comes to your GPU, when it comes to your settings, when it comes to your games. Now you don't have to max res everything, but if you want to get a bit more frames, just I would recommend more to actually drop a little bit of the texture resolution or the shader resolution or whatever you need to in order to get the maximum frames, especially if you are a competitive player. So it's just that micro PSU, micro ATX PSUs. Yes. Yeah, they can be expensive. Project PNY. You know what's crazy? They do have RAM, but they're ones that I do not want to reach out, because when I think of PNY, I always it's funny. I always think of a very particular guy here. So, but we could take a look at some SFF PSUs, and here we go. Here goes one SF series. That's not it. Let's see. Fully modular ATX. That's not it. We have to go down and actually filter it out in order for us to find it. So power supplies. And then we will go down to fitment. Let's see. Molex connectors, ATX 12 volt graphics connectors. And here goes the depth. Now, of course, they got all different measurements. 5 by 6 inches. It depends. It's pretty crazy that they don't have it set by form factor. That would be the easier way to look at it. Here you go, modular, ATI. Here we go, form factor. Let's go. It's weird how, I guess SFX would be the best one. There you go. These would be the better ones. Again, they are top dollar, $219 for this, for 1,000 watts. That's not terrible, but definitely not the best. Thanks, man. You're a good man. I was just getting too stressed for not building in October. Yeah, no need. There's PCs will always be around. And for anyone that does stress about building a PC, and you don't have the money just quite yet, don't worry. Just worry just about getting the PC hardware first. Just get some components and then build after. Because when it comes to PCs, as we all know, they consistently upgrade. The Lian Li SP. Yes. They have the Lian Li SP. That's actually not too bad. Let's check out the specifications for it in depth here. Crossfire compatible. Look how small it is. That is tiny. That one flips its cable. I bought a... Really? You bought a Ryzen? Okay. That's interesting. The Lian Li Edge. Yes. The Lian Li Edge is a dope one. We were thinking of that when we went to Micro Center the other day. Remember when we went live? Here it is. Let's look at it. Lian Li's Edge. It's the one where you can flip out just like this. I was a bit kind of curious about it, but because of my particular case, we can go with it. But it's one where you can actually flip it just like this. And even has like the little fan ports. Pretty wild looking, I gotta say. But if they look like fan, I guess you can. It's really interesting, I gotta say, for a PSU. Definitely a very interesting PSU for the most part. I would think this would go well with, of course, the more of the Lian Li cases. We do have one to reveal. Yeah, the US, that's what makes it interesting, is the whole USB and the fan hub. That's what makes it interesting. I would assume you could, I wonder if they let you control it, where it would just run at 100% the whole time if you're doing so. 700 watt P. More than likely you'll probably find 750 before 700 watt, Alex. The Lian Li RS PSU. Okay. Lian Li RS. Let's find that out real quick. They don't have it here. Let's try Newegg then. Lian Li RS. Here we come. Here we go. Rotational shift. Modular. Oh, that's interesting. What's up, AF? Welcome in. But yeah, if you're to get a PSU, I always highly recommend Seasonic. Seasonic actually has excellent PSUs. That's really different. That's interesting how that kind of flips around. I wonder why they have it like that. So here's the cables that they have for it, all essential cables. Huh. That is, oh, I guess, oh, okay. So I guess it kind of makes sense. You could, huh. I'm trying to imagine like how it would be like on a case. It's kind of weird because it makes you wonder about everything that is exposed there out of that case. You don't want nothing getting in there because it would short. Be Quiet's decent PSUs. They definitely have decent ones. I have no complaints about it. And they're definitely quite affordable too, I'd say. Like, if for anyone that is actually looking for a PSU that is a bit more quiet, Be Quiet's definitely one of the brands to go for. But just don't expect the cables to be similar to like how Seasonic cables are. They're a bit, the best way I can describe Be Quiet's wires, they're a bit more stiff. They're more like kind of like a Corsair type of power cable, or like thermal takes. They're a lot more stiff. Maybe yeah, maybe a BTF. Oh no, you can flip it. Yeah. And so I guess it sits in the case, and if your PC sits at an angle, or you can or if your power outlet is a bit further, you can actually flip it and actually plug it into the power outlet that way. It gets you a bit more reach, but I guess that's a decent feature. It's pretty creative for the most part. Lian Li does come out with some very interesting products, I gotta say. There's a cheap 750. There you go. Go for that then, Alex. You can't shift the plug to 90 degrees. You have to have a normal PSU, or you can go into Corsair shift mode with Lian Li RS. Huh. Yeah, that's what it seems like. And anyway, you should never, never go cheap on a PSU. So if anyone's thinking of building a PC, never buy a PSU from Temu. You don't want to go here. Let's go take a look. You don't want to go here and then look up. I like how the generic term when you come in here is phone unlock. So, okay, so let's see. So, okay, so we're going to type in PSU. Let's look up 1,000 watt PSU. There you go. CPS. You can get a CPS. That's so insane. $235.90 for this CPS. Let me go back here. I really hate how, like, when you go on something like Temu. Yes, the PSU. Here we go. 700 watt RGB. You know what's funny? Tell me what brand that looks like to you. What brand does that look like, everybody? What does that logo closely resemble to you? Take a look. There you go. But this is called Skywind International TF700G. So what does that look like to you, everybody? For my PC 9950 X3D 5080, I bought the 1200. Yeah, it's good that you did. Because just in case if you ever decide to expand, you want to expand on your SSD, you want to expand on any of your other components, you don't have to worry about, you have the, how do I say, you have the cushion to be able to not worry that you're taking up too much wattage on your PC. Looks looks like it looks like a fire hazard. Okay, so uh it does look at the fan. I would if somebody said that, would you trust your graphics card with this? That's how you got to think of it. That graphics card that you purchased, or even that RAM that you purchased, would you trust it to this power supply? Gaming PC shop in Qatar now allows payments. Oh, really? That's funny. It's kind of smart. It's like holding gold. now, now let's take a look. This is what brand I think it looks closely resembles here. And you take a look right there. You see that? Kind of resembles this, right? Let me get a little bit closer here. Let's get a closer look. Now, this is a PSU that everyone should get. Seasonic. You know what's crazy? I was looking at these Noctua PSUs, but they're just so expensive. But you see the symbol, the little, you see what that looks like? And then you take a look right here. It's, instead of it being a bit more curved, it's like it's pretty close, right? Seasonic copy to spread up the other. Yeah, it's pretty close, right? For me, it's, if it's not Lee and Lee, I'm not getting that. Oh, I don't blame you. Lee and Lee makes excellent PSUs too. That was the debate. But what about the RGBs? You gotta have the RGBs when it comes to your PSU. What is, I gotta say, what is the deal with like RGBs and LEDs when it comes to their products? At least it's efficient 90%, and fully modular, 100% Japanese capacitors. I like it. I like the spacing between everything. It's Seasonic. Yeah, especially in a double chamber hidden PSU. Thank you, Kenneth. Thank you for subscribing. Oh, that's hilarious. Here's the rating. It says test it to comply. Okay. Hazardous voltages contained within this power supply. I always like reading these because I always feel like you find something. Not user serviceable. Return to service center for repair. Caution, do not remove the cover. They forgot to put the S correct. Skywind International. I know, exactly. Skywind International for the win. And look, it's low noise. It's only up to 30 decibels. If you go to full 700 watts, it goes up to 30 decibels. Can I send? Yeah, sure. Feel free to send it. There you go for your main board. ATX. Has anyone ever seen an ATX cable that looks like this? 700 CPU 12 volt. PCI Express connection. Okay. Here's the back of it. Huh. Very interesting. Very interesting, I gotta say, at the least when it comes to... All right, let's take a look. We'll look at one more. These are the ones... Now, I'm not saying get these. I'm saying for anyone that's coming in, do not take this serious. Maybe... What good extension cables go for the motherboard to... So I would highly recommend, if you are looking into something like that, Mod DIY has some great ones. Or Mod Cables is really good too. The pink... Oh, it sounds like people like this pink one right here. So let's take a look. What is that pink? This is made by Vetru. It's ATX 3.1. This, Maybe this goes into maybe this goes into, let's see. What type of project could this go into, guys? Project Weeb. There you go. Perfect. Vitro, I can't. Switching power supply. Oh, they even got a video. Let's check out the video, guys. Let's check it out. Nice, 850 watts. Okay, has that Seasonic cable look. They got it. All right. I like how it's a little bit raised. Kind of fishy right there. Like it being raised out like that. Nice durable cables. They look kind of familiar, right? Why do you need that extra cover for it? I can't put this only in my daughter's with only dividing. Exactly. I was half expecting a PowerPoint. Yeah, I know. I was kind of thinking it was a PowerPoint slide too. So it's equipped with 90 millimeters of low noise 9-blade fan to provide excellent airflow. Nice. And it has premium capacitors. It doesn't say from where, but it just says premium capacitors. Our power supplies utilize high quality capacitors, allowing you to experience unparalleled reliability and our superior performance. Not with those fan blades. Trust me, bro. Exactly, Ernesto. Trust me. Look at those fan blades. Would you trust that? That is looking kind of rough. How's the airflow? What do you think the CFM is on that? The CFM, it can't, definitely is not going to be top notch here. And then 0.1. They do look like they're 3D printed. I agree. Even the back of here. What is the point of this? Is it not going to fill? Oh, so if you take a look at it, you can go SFX or you can go full ATX. So you have to convert it to make it ATX. So not only is it not large enough for an ATX case, but you can make it into the ATX side. So you can choose to overload it. Your choice. Yeah, Noctua could look. CFM is at least 5. It's 80 plus gold certified, from what they say. They got the certificate, 80 plus gold certificate. Okay, and they utilize. Okay, they can't have enough of these high quality. Look at that fan. That's just terrible. And this is the difference. Like when you look at a cheaper brand, just by looking at the fans here. Certified by Fetch. Yes. And then you take a look at something like here. This is like an actual PSU. And we'll take a look at their cooling here. PC power supplies. We'll look at their... We could look at the fanless are expensive, but they're nice. But if you look at something like this... Let's get a closer look here. I'm going to zoom in, guys, so you guys can see it. Oh, there we go. You see how different the fan is? I know it's a little bit hard to see, but you see how it's curved? That's a bit more optimal for airflow. Did someone try 424 sticks of CU dim on an exit? No, they didn't. Did they really? But you can max out on a AM5 board. You can max out at 256, I believe, 256 gigabytes. So it always kills me when they include the description. The design is very human. The TF Skywind International Lock. It's a damn shame. It really is. Do they have no pride? Do they have to steal ideas such as this? This is the truly superior design. Right there, superior. And they do say superior performance. There you go. Switching power supply. So let's take a look. Oh, so people actually got some reviews on this. Let's take a look at the reviews here, guys. Right there. It says, arrived on time. Retro 850 watt power supply, 80 plus. Oh, God rest his GPU at that point. Perfect. Fast shipping and exactly as pictured. I haven't installed it yet, but everything is fine so far. How do you know everything is fine if you haven't installed it yet? And you get one of those black bags, the usual Wish TV, not even a box. Yeah, probably. Remember those Amazon packets that you usually get when you order something from Amazon? And it's probably one of those type of bags, but except it's one of the paper bags. You know, like one of those big paper envelopes that they send to your house. But it comes all the way from China. Those reviews, I know. They're completely not made up. This PSU works perfectly. It's quiet and can power a RTX 3090 without issues. Sure it can. Definitely no IP was used when made this. He purchased it twice. There's only 3 reviews on the product. And I like how, so you can control the quiet operation. Has a little volume indicator right there. Inside the box, it looks like I haven't used it, but yeah, exactly. Yeah, my cars are I haven't started it yet, but it's good. I wonder how good the power supply with that power bank. It's okay. I didn't install it, but it's okay. Everything is fine with my PC. Yeah, exactly. The SFX. Oh man, I just can't. Oh, there you go. Here's the install. There you go. And then he's gonna install. Okay, there it is. You see it, guys? So if you need a very reliable connection for a 12-volt high power port, it's right there, just like that. I promise you, it won't melt. Would anyone put this on their 50 series card? The guy would just be like yelling, "No, we just want you." You know, they'll probably have a full video of how to do it, and then when they put it inside the PC, there you go. Look, there it is. They're gonna convert it into an ATX power supply. Only takes 6 screws, and then now they're gonna install it with another. All right, so that's a total of what, 10? That's 12. That's like 12 screws to install a power supply. You need 12 screws to install this power supply. Exactly. What are all these random screws? There you go. Doesn't that look lovely? Take apart our PSU. But they don't power it on. They show all that, but then they don't power it on. Because they know what'll happen. Oh my god. Oh, I'm in tears. Oh, that's just terrible. That is just... So if anyone's looking for this wonderful pink power supply, you can trust VTrue. 6 plus 4 equals 12. Let's look for more. All right, yeah, let's look for more. And here we go. We got a 700 watt RGB fully ATX gaming power supply right here. Oh, it's by the same brand. Okay, we've seen that one already. So we're gonna go ahead and take a look at, let's see. That's an interesting looking one. It's funny because it makes you wonder about like even the power supplies, even if it's like something like Be Quiet, right? As you know, it's a good brand, looks just like it, but is it really a Be Quiet power supply? And they're selling it for 196. That's pretty much the same price as the actual one. So I saw a power supply with battery backup, waifu cooler. Why is that one? I know it's pretty rough, right? I doubt. I doubt they have like a yeah. I doubt it too. Here we go. 850 watts. This looks trustful, right? 850 watts, and it has like a little dragon on it. Okay, and it's a 80 plus gold efficiency, so it's about 90% efficient. Lowers the power bill. I like how high res the photo is. 100% Japanese capacitors, 105 degrees Celsius. It almost looks like, you know, like when you're familiar with those like bootleg movies, like they just have that real low quality print. That's kind of what it looks like. And then leveled up ATX 3.1 and PCI Express 5.1. 100% unlock the newest GPU's power. Three times the GPU power excursion. Okay, 2 times total power excursion, and they even show you that they do have their trustful 12-volt high power port. That the 12-volt high power port cable is included. Don't forget, it does have RGB, so if you're looking for more frames, there it is. It's sitting inside of that PSU. And I think that's supposed to say modular. It's hard to see it, but I believe that says modular. It looks like SATA. Okay, so it's SATA for the hard disk. IDE Molex for cooling fans, and then it has the 12-volt high power port for the GPU. As the PCI Express. Okay, PCI Express right there. ATX 12 volts is you can try, but if it doesn't work, Alice, feel free to send it in Discord. If you want to. I know, 3 times. Yeah, exactly. So if it's 850 watts, it has a pretty much like an amplifier. So it can amplify the amperage when it goes to your GPU. There you go. That's a good call, Frozen. It's supposed to be like the MSI Dragon. So feel free to join the Discord. You can easily join it here. I should have just typed it into. I don't know why it goes so out of control when I post it. But I have an idea, because again, it's the whole vertical and side of it. The whole vertical and horizontal side of it. You need to do is an all Temu PC build. You know what though? If we ever did a Project Temu build, it wouldn't be in this house. I would have to go to some sort of property, or maybe rent some sort of storage unit where they have outlets, and then plug it in there. Or you know what? I would have to get something in between, just in case if it trips. Like when it comes to this Temu build. And let's check out the. You know what's funny? It never shows the fan completely still, so you never get to see what it actually looks like. Let's see. At least it's curved. It's better than the other one, because at least it's curved. Go to Micro Center. Yeah, that's it. You know what? Simply Takuma. That's definitely a good point. Takuma makes a great point. You can just go to Micro Center, like, hey, you mind if I plug this in? I would definitely have some sort of interference in between it, just in case, though. I would not trust that thing turning on. Let's see. Let's go. And you can also, you gotta have. It makes me curious. 12-volt high power extensions. This I would not trust. You do not want to buy it here. Here you go. You get the high efficiency transmission. High density copper wires carries larger currents. There you go. Oh my god, what I found. It talks about the FSP power supply, which has the backup battery. Oh, that's not a bad idea. That's a good design if they do come out with that. FSP is actually excellent. Sure. The Genomorph just sent something too. All right, so let's take it. Genomorph has just sent us this. Oh, nice. If you need a temperature and display, it's right here, $23.97. It shows your temperatures from your CPU and your GPU. And it holds your... oh my god. And it holds your GPU at the same time. Yes. It's amazing, isn't it? So not only does it have a display, but it also can display your temperatures of your CPU and your GPU. That is... Let's take a look. Let's take a look, guys. We got to see this thing in action here. There it is. It can hold the weight. The RGBs does kick on. Do a build with all the crazy... That's a good point. That would be pretty interesting, right? Doing a full out Temu build. 3 points of stability right here. Bam, just like that. And then it has that cable connection right into... So you plug it USB, okay? Okay, and you have to have the RGBs plugged in. And then you get these... You get the wonderful light show. Would you trust putting this into like something like a Apex motherboard? That's what I'm curious about. I wonder if you could... it's, you know, the pins. It's funny, when they're poorly designed, you'll know because they don't show the pins themselves. The thing you gotta love about Temu, they show everything rendered. They never actually show you what the real actual product looks like. And there's no reviews on this. That's a good point. I'm Cats. You need an anti-sag bracket for the anti-sag bracket. No way I'm plugging anything like this in that motherboard. Would anyone attempt to plug this into a high-end motherboard? Even on your Gigabyte Aorus Master? Would anyone plug this in? Because usually when it comes to these pin designs, there's similar designs. Oh, they have a crimping toolkit. That's probably exactly what they used. Local, okay. 3D printed creative GPU stand, okay. Let's see. Here we go. So this one's local SATA power ports, 2.5 PCI Express. Here we go. You know what? Let's click into this real quick. There you go. Anyone looking for some ARGBs? Oh, that is looking rough. I bet these cables are stiff as a brick. I bet they're nowhere near as flexible as Lian Lee's cables. 80 to 81 LEDs. I bet they are stiff as they can be. Oh, look. Tightens the ties and cuts off the access. And that look at that render right there. That is looking rough, guys. You see that? That is... Oh, really? How'd it turn out? Temu sound card, yeah. You know what's funny? The best of Temu 2026 project. Give it a... Oh... that would be pretty funny. Do a full out PC build, full of Temu parts, and see how it comes out. Looks like glow sticks. In India, the 32 gigabyte RAM kits cost more than the average laptop. Oh, I bet it costs more than the average laptops here. It's insane. Yeah, they look pretty stiff, don't they, guys? They're not looking too flexible. Let's see the reviews here. No reviews, of course. Nobody reviewing it. Kodak opening the 3.2 speed limit error. cable organizer. These Asia horse cable covers are legit. I don't know if I would get them with. No, I wouldn't get them either. Like anything that you see that is a real product is more than likely going to be a knockoff version when you get it. They probably give you the real photos, but it kind of reminds me of the case if anybody was familiar with it, was with, for example, AMD's processors. And I'll show you guys. It's pretty wild. In fact, it's like when somebody actually bought a Samsung 980 Pro SSD. They bought it off of something like eBay, or they bought it off of Temu, thinking it's an actual Samsung 980 Pro. And it wasn't. Instead, they got this, which is pretty insane. Here it is. Right there. So they ordered from the website. Now, here are the differences. Now, if you take a close look at this, let me see. Let me shift it around here. So if you take a close look at that right here, you see the real one is here on the left. That's what the real one should look like. It's a lot smaller. Now, the knockoff version, yeah, it all depends. It just depends on what you buy. Older stuff you can get away with because it's usually stuff that people don't want, and they sell a lot easier on something like AliExpress. If you choose between the X870E Acer Corsair Hero and the Gigabyte Aorus Master X3D, that's a good decision. Like between those two, that would definitely have to be personal preference for sure. Well, personally, for me, I have the X870E Crosshair Hero, and I certainly love that motherboard. It's a great motherboard. And the Gigabyte Aorus Master, I have the Z890 version of it, and that's also an awesome board. But personally, I'd say the ASUS. These stuff are like electric lawnmowers you buy, and then they have 400 watt. Come on, it's a laptop SSD. Boycott, don't buy anything until boycott. Yeah, I mean, that's one way of doing it. But unfortunately, even manufacturers like Apple and Samsung are unable to even get RAM. So they're sort of boycotting, but they can't get it in their hands in the first place. But that's the knockoff version right here. It's kind of like a sticker that they threw on there, and they make it look legit, but that is not a true legitimate SSD. And even though they tried their best to make it look like the real thing, it's not. You should just buy the PNY SSD. You should. Oh yeah, sure. I'll take a look at the links. I just want to show you guys one more thing. This is what you guys have to be careful of. For anyone that does buy off of, oh, let me hide the poll real quick, guys. We did that poll already. Yeah, as I was saying, they also did the same thing with the 9800 X3D, and this is exactly what you have to be careful of. So someone actually went out, made a purchase of it, and I'll show you what it looks like. Now, take a look here. This is pretty diabolical. I want to show you the real obvious one, but here goes an example right here. Yes, and that's the problem. They do these clones, they do these knockoffs, just like this one right here. They have a clone of, this is the real one right here on the left. It's pretty obvious, and you can tell the fake one here is on the right. And then when you look at it, let me see, they don't even show you under it. Here you go. So what they did was they take off the IHS, and then they actually glue it just like this, so to make it look like the real one. But it was actually an AM4 processor, so it's not AM4. It's a AM4 processor. So it actually doesn't even fit. It's like the pins are. In fact, even Gamers Nexus has talked about this. Here goes a perfect one right here. I want to show you under it too, but it's practically not AM5 at all. It's terrible, right? So you got to be really careful when buying off of websites such as those. So what if it's legitimate? You should also check. Even if it is, it's just hard to trust because you never know if they got it because they didn't get it accepted, because they do have grades when it comes to processors, and because of that, let's take a look. Let's try looking back here. Going back here. Here goes a real obvious one, guys. This one, they definitely could have done better. That is just terrible. Look at that. That is just god awful. The 9800X. Yeah, exactly. Pokemon card scam method. Exactly. Thankfully, it's not Athlon 64. Oh, that's so bad. But yeah, so I'm going to check out the links real quick, guys, on Discord. So if you guys had anything to share, I'll definitely check it out there. Oh, wow. Quite a bit. We have Kuchien. Let's take a look at Kuchien. It's an SSD, and it has multiple formats such as 512, 256, and 128 gigabytes. Only 25 bucks. So if anyone does need an SSD, Takuma was kind enough to share it with everybody here. It's a performance master, and it reads up to it reads up to an amazing 500 megabytes per second. And you get write speeds of 450. And it's equipped with the high performance 3D NAND, selected particles, original quality, multi-channel, high speed design. So they're saying, you don't want this M.2 SATA protocol. This is what they have. 2 notches. They're just letting you know, like, don't blame us if you go ahead and make this purchase. Wow. Let's take a look at what else Takuma says. High quality particles, I know. That is just awful. This does not look like Samsung. Here we go. EGIT. Hey, is anybody looking for some RAM? Has it gotten to that point where we got to go on Temu here? You can get some EGIT RAM. It's DDR3 memory. 8 gigabytes, 4 gigabytes. And first thing I saw was, yeah, that's the first thing you notice. And then high-speed performance. DDR 1600 megahertz. Easy upgrade, stable, and efficient. You know what? Let's look at some DDR5 real quick. All PCs just came up here. Wow. You know what? That's not a good sign. You know what that means? People actually bought them. Oh, thanks, Andy Hart. Yes, it seems like it is. It really, especially if anybody out there does need to get a GPU, getting any RTX cards is definitely one of the you can take advantage of. Same thing with even getting the Radeon RX 9070 XTs. You can actually get them for under $600, some of them. In fact, if you go to Micro Center, they have the ASRock 9070 XT for only it's only 580 bucks. So for anyone looking for GPUs, definitely go ahead and make these purchases if you need to. But GeForce is also, thank you for subscribing. High speed at DDR3, even Temu RAM is going, it's pretty sad. We can try AliExpress. Let's go ahead, try AliExpress. GeForce Now is also, what he's talking about too is the cloud. It's like playing games such as I think they recently upgraded to the RTX 4090, and they're probably going to end up upgrading it again. But it's an option for anyone that is looking to game without building a PC. And it's almost essentially that's where they want to get everybody is the game remotely. I think which is worse. You know what? It probably is. DDR5. There you go. There's the RAM we're looking for. We got pure skill. No, not pure skill. PU skill. It's DDR5 right there. There you go. Get some poo skill. Anybody need some poo skill? I think RTX 580. And get this. They have the different variations here. They got the up to 5600 megahertz, 32 gigabytes of poo skill. So you could get the it has memory chips. Okay, explain this, guys. Look at the memory chips here. What do you see that's wrong? You can't have a mixture of 4 memory chips. That tells me that they soldered 4 different DRAM onto one type of RAM on one PCB. That's just problematic right there. You have some Hynix, Micron, Samsung, and Pooskill. all brands for max compatibility. That's right, Dave. This is why I just would not buy a used CPU off of eBay or Facebook Market. Yeah, that's when it gets questionable. GeForce Now RTX 580, a better CPU, I believe. Lifetime warranty, yeah, you know, and it's also has ECC design on particles. What is their obsession with particles? Selected high-quality components, rigorous production testing to provide you with excellent compatibility and stability. And you have an 8-layer PCB on the DRAM. It's almost like what you would have on a motherboard. Less than one crash per hour. So I guess if it gets tired of one memory controller, it goes to the next. So it gets tired of one DRAM, it goes to the next one. So it's energy efficient in that sense. Oh look, people let's take a look. Here is the actual photos. I haven't tested it yet. He gives it 3 stars and hasn't tested it yet. Oh, talk about like playing with luck here. Who's gonna put this on? Would you put this on your MSI godlike motherboard? X870E godlike motherboard here. Poo skill. Look at the back of it. What is that? What is that? Oh no. It's, you know what happened? Its memory, it lost its memory. It looks almost just as good as W sticks. 5 stars. Delivery is a bit slower. It took 2 weeks because it was sent via regular mail. Hong Kong, delivered by post. Performance is fine. Recognized well past. Mem test 86 hours. Look at this. Look at the DRAM. That means it's either unusually large to PCB. So I bought a ton of a DDR5 last year. Holy crap, now I have a gold mine. Yeah, you better keep that in the safe. Don't tell anybody about it. You can't trust anyone. Smooth. Pass, he puts on it. That's mem test. And he's running it on, what's the clock? 4200. I'm more curious about it. That's fun. That is funny. Let's go here. Somebody else has it. Delivery is fast and it is in good condition. You gotta have some poo skill. Gotta have some poo skill, guys. I love all these 5-star reviews where they say great, 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 great. So low profile RAM. Let's go ahead. Let's take a look at what Takuma's said. He was snagged that. Oh, really? Yeah, Blue. What's up? What's up, Blue? Glad to see you in here. Oh wow. Let's take a look at Wish here. Right here, we got the X79 Turbo, PCI Express NVMe M.2 SSD. Awesome. Look at that heatsink. Look at that beautiful VRM heatsink up there. Yeah, that's trustful. It looks almost like a DDR3, okay? I like how they have it split. This is supposed to be server based. I see. How's it? Great. 9 times. Wow, brings back times. Oh. Also, a Gigabyte B850 with 15 USB ports and a Wi-Fi 7 for 1. That's not bad at all. Man, you have your build almost fully together at this. What's all that you need? Do you need an X79 Turbo motherboard? I bought one for $1. Really? That's funny. Let's go. Now, this is server based. This is Intel's 2011 here. Oh, there you go. Look at that. You can trust that. It'll definitely keep it nice and cool, that little heatsink. That looks 3D printed, though. And it comes with a really wonderful I/O plate. SATA 2. It got a 9800 X3D instead of, because I had money to spare because of how cheap the GPU was. Now let's take a look at this one with swamp colors. Oh, nice CPU cooler. It's the E86 CPU Quad PWM cooling fan heat pipe ultra thin. That's what we need. We need ultra thin heat pipes. It's so thin that you can't even see it. Where's the heat pipes at? Barely anything. That's trustworthy. Is it AM5 friendly? Is the question. What's up, Blue? Feel free to ask. Look up the ASRock X870 live mixer. It has more USB ports. Really? Yeah, definitely we'll look that up. ASRock X70 iron heatsink. Let's go ahead. ASRock X870 live mixer. So we're taking a look into this. Do the AMD CPUs and the box packages come with? Some do, but not currently. They do not. Most of them you have to go ahead and purchase a CPU cooler. But if you are looking for something that is for the 9800 X3D, you don't want to cheap out on a CPU cooler anyway. You want to make sure to at least get something like Thermalright. Thermalright has affordable CPUs and coolers. So I would recommend something like this. So here's the USBs here. USB, Ultra USB power, Lightning gaming port. Really? How's that Lightning? That's so weird to see that. I'm assuming that's USB 3.2 Gen 2. That's a bit much to market. Wow. 3 USB-C ports, okay. That's nothing too great. But that is a lot of USB for sure. 5 gigabits of LAN, optical SPDIF output, flexible integrated I/O shield. I mean, we can all trust ASRock with our yeah, let's all trust them. They are, you know what's funny? They're the ones that's actually going to make the difference when it comes to motherboards here, because they're actually coming out with the combo ASRock DDR4 DDR5 motherboard. I'm not kidding. Take a look. It's this is because they're trying to fix the issue right here. So if you're looking for any motherboard that you can't find some DDR5, it is also backwards compatible with some DDR4 there. So for anybody that doesn't want to end up getting a motherboard where it's versatile, you can actually get some DDR5, and you can even put DDR4 if you want to. Yes. Graham says, I bought my 128 gigabyte DDR5 6200 mega transfers for $340 in August. I don't want my 9800 X3D to die. That you do not want to do. You do not want your CPU to end up dying. Have you tried? No. I actually have not tried to reach out to them. At this point, maybe I can. I feel like they would definitely contact me back if I did. I should contact them just to see what they say. Just to get my hands on this motherboard, I would love to reach out to them and see if they'll send it out. DDR4 won't physically fit in that DDR4. Well, that's actually, this is a new board. This is going to be ASRock's new Intel motherboard that they are releasing. This is the 610M, I think it is. But this is going to be, this is currently compatible with the needs now. They're supposed to come out with the AM5 version too, I remember, but I have to ask him about that. Yeah, so if anyone's interested in building a PC and you're in desperate need, you just want to get DDR4 instead, this is one option. But DDR4 honestly is expensive even today. It's way more expensive than it should be. So, fam guys, I thank everybody for coming into the stream. What I'm going to end up doing is I'm going into the member stream. Feel free to join the membership. Check out the pricing. I promise you it's not nowhere near Xbox Game Pass pricing. And it's definitely nowhere near DDR5 pricing. So thank you guys. Thank you everybody for coming into the stream. If I decide to end up streaming another time on the weekend, I'll definitely let you guys all know through Discord. Feel free to join the Discord to do so. And again, feel free to join the membership side or subscribe on Twitch. Would certainly appreciate it, guys. Thank you guys so much for coming in. And hopefully I see you guys soon. For all the members, make sure you stay tuned for, again, the live stream for the members only. And thank you guys. Peace. Thank you, Big Bad. I appreciate it. It's so weird. I should have my... It seems like my alerts aren't coming up for all the subscribes or follows. Not completely, at least. But I thank you, everybody who has joined the FanBam. And again, this is the Discord for everyone to feel free to join in. Now, it's going to spam like crazy. I apologize for that. And that's all due to me multi-streaming. So, yes, I do have Twitch. Feel free to join the Twitch side. It's going to, for anyone that wants to follow the Twitch end, it's going to be twitch.tv/@ChrisMizo. So that is my Twitch side. So anyone can feel free to join that as well. And thank you guys so much. And I'll see you guys on the other side.